So I'm Lidia Lewis from Arup, a landscape architect, and thank you for inviting me to speak here today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Spitz Park, which is a little temporary parklet that we designed and installed in Fitzrovia. So it's on Windmill Street, which links Tottenham Court Road and Charlotte Street. And the aim of it was that it was temporary, that it was quick, and that it was cost effective. And we wanted to improve walkability in the area, community cohesion, and city resilience, as well as the look and feel of a quite drab London street. So it's not very wide, it's just short of 2 meters wide, and it's about 20 meters long, and it incorporated 9 planters that incorporated seating as well. And it's in an area of mixed uses with food and beverage, businesses, and quite a few local residents as well. And the design cost, construction cost, and maintenance cost in all was about £50,000. It was a year-long collaboration between Arup and our business improvement district that we're located in, Fitzrovia Partnership, Vestry, the street furniture manufacturer, Green London, the Greater London Authority, London Borough of Camden, the Mayor of London, and the University of Manchester. And it was also jointly funded by the bid, but also an internal Invest in Arup initiative, which required the monitoring of the parklet once it was installed. Vestry, who provided the seating and units. And then we also got some funding from the Mayor of London Clean Air budget, which I can't remember the name of at this precise moment. So there was several steps to the monitoring methodology. I just realised these slides are in a slightly long order. I was meant to talk to you about the timeline first. So it took about 8 months to get the project off the ground in terms of meeting with planners, finding the right streets. We looked at several locations. We got planning permission, and then we started some pre-installation monitoring. And the parklet was installed in July last year. And then we did 2 months of post-installation monitoring. And it stayed on site for 6 months. And we had a meeting with Camden just about a month ago to decide its future. And we'll go into that in a minute. So some photos for you of the construction, and it was a real team event. A lot of the team in Arup came out and installed it for us, and Vestry were there, and did it over a few days. And it was really popular. In the summer months, it was pretty much crowded every day and looked pretty good. So I'm just the order of these is a bit funny, I don't know what happened. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the monitoring process. So part of the funding that Arup got for the project was to look into the monitoring of it and to provide evidence of the value of the parklets for people and the environment. And it was also to try and raise awareness of the creation of these temporary parklets in London and beyond, and to strengthen the case of the parklet becoming permanent. So we did a lot of observations where we took videos of how people were using the site. We counted and measured usage and what people were doing on site. We did questionnaires with both the members of the public and with the local businesses and residents pre and post the installation. And then we collated everything into a monitoring report. Okay. Flick through. So initially we looked at the movement. So pre-installation there was through movement across the street, and most people were travelling from Tottenham Court Road through to Charlotte Street. But after post-installation it was pretty evident that this pattern was changing, and that there was a lot more connection happening between the street, and people were staying and crossing the road in many more places, and not being inhibited by the loading bay, which had previously stopped people crossing. We also looked at users. So the parklet attracted the largest number of users at lunchtime, for obvious reasons, between about 12 and 2. And the highest percentage of users were those aged between 18 and 34. And also dwell locations. So previously, no one was stopping on the street. People were passing from A to B. And if they were stopping for a cigarette, it was outside a shop front or outside a entrance door. But with the parklet, there were loads more opportunities for stopping and dwelling, and people were staying in the parklet for a lot longer. So here are just some more data from that. So post-installation, the percentage of pedestrians just passing through dropped from 68% to 48%. And there's an increase of 20% of people that stay in the parklet for more than 20 minutes at a time. And the parklet created a space for a whole wide variety of activities. And there's some photos here of people having lunch, children playing on the seating, people even having meetings with their laptops. There was a real plentiful supply of things going on. And an added bonus for us was that the parklet demonstrated how quickly wild species populated the plants. And within the first day, we saw bees and butterflies. And although it's a small site and it's not huge, there's a huge potential for biodiversity. It just shows that with just a little bit of planting, you can really generate biodiversity interest in an urban environment. So as I mentioned, we carried out questionnaires with businesses and with local residents pre and post installation. We did some questionnaires of the site, some well-being questionnaires that were devised with the help of University of Manchester, who specialise in the social value of open spaces. And in the user well-being questionnaire results, there was an overwhelming positive increase in self-reported well-being, and in both cases. And I just wanted to give you a definition of what the well-being meant in this context. So it was a positive psychological state in which people are able to function effectively or flourish. This definition is based on 5 subcomponents of well-being: satisfaction, affect, competence, relatedness, and autonomy. The built and natural environment plays an important and often overlooked role in people's well-being. And I think this has been touched on in all the presentations today, how important it is to everyone's life. And then in terms of the business questionnaires, 100% of the businesses around the parklet supported it, and 70% said that it had a positive impact on their business. So the key objectives achieved by the parklet, in summary, that we enhanced walkability and opportunities for seating, resulting in the 41% increase to self-reported well-being. We had an increase of users that spent 30 minutes per visit on Windmill Street, and this fostered a real community interaction, and it gave economic benefits to the local businesses. There was a real rapid colonisation of wildlife to help with climate change adaptation and increased biodiversity, and it just made the street look nicer, 100% local business satisfaction. And what were our lessons learned from the project? So we wanted to, next time, maybe look more into the economic benefits of the parklet on businesses. So we didn't ask questions maybe enough about the economic benefits for their business. We would probably consult additionally with local residents. We would also consider integrating cigarette butts into the scheme, because although we had maintenance rubbish being collected 3 times a day, every day during the summer months, cigarette butts were just everywhere. And it wasn't very nice. And then I think there's more to be done with the microclimatic conditions. I think the trees that we planted didn't withstand the winds that we had on the street. So next time we do this, we'll definitely study those a bit more. And also with the biodiversity angle, the ecologists have suggested we install a bat detector somewhere in the vicinity to start looking at the kind of foraging potential of these things for bats and birds. And finally, so the next steps, we're going to be doing a few changes, or we have done a few changes to maintenance as we've gone into the winter months, reducing watering and changing the planting. We want to install this permanently. Camden Council are really keen. They want us to do this. It's just a matter of how it goes through there. There's few planning loops that we need to go through, and we need to change the base, which is currently timber, but it needs to be probably upgraded to some kind of concrete base. And we're already speaking with the bid and with the Business Improvement District and investigating 2 other locations where they want to do this. And we just want to raise awareness of how successful they are and try and get more built in London. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.